Hello, welcome to Short Attention Span Politics. My name is JD, I'll be your host. This video is a follow-up video to the February 27th, 2020 video of things you need to know now. In this video, I will explain in those items I covered in more detail. So, let's get down to it. As I mentioned earlier, the statistics on the coronavirus are changing practically hourly. Still, as of this recording, there are 0 deaths in the US. So the coronavirus has a scientific name. It's 2019-NCOV. That is the name of the virus. The name of the disease is COVID-19. You've probably heard of COVID-19. This new coronavirus is the 8th coronavirus that has been identified by science. The first time it was identified was way back in the 1960s. So this is no stranger to the CDC and to viruses in our population. The CDC has stated that currently the risk for people in the United States is very low. The people at most risk are people who care for the sick and people who come in direct contact with sick people. You may remember just a few short years ago when Ebola was a big thing. That was 2015, I believe. There was also recently there was Zika virus, SARS a while back, bird flu, many other, even mad cow disease for a while there was a pandemic, and everybody was really starting to be very concerned. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to be concerned about it. Certainly can be concerning. But the panic right now about it, and including the panic that's causing financial problems across the world, seems to be a little bit premature. Yes, people have died, thousands I hear, in China. But there's been none in the U.S. I'm not aware of a lot of them in Europe. I think that it can be a problem in a lot of underdeveloped countries. But I'm going to go with the CDC on this one and say it's not. Americans are low risk. So what is this brokered convention that we've been hearing, and how did it screw Bernie out of his nomination in 2016? Well, the Democrats have a particular quirk about their nominating process that occurs in their convention. It's been referred to as a brokered convention. That's kind of an old term. That the Democrat Party prefers open convention these days, but according to their rules, there has to be a clear winner. By clear winner, it means they have to have a certain amount of the delegates and a certain amount of the popular vote. If this doesn't occur, then it's an open convention. What they'll do is when they convene, they'll have a round of voting. Usually, the delegates from each state, they pretty much have to vote the way the vote went in their state. The delegates are pretty much obligated to vote for the candidate their state who won their state. The super delegates who were around in 2016 under different rules are still around, but they can't vote nowadays in the first round. So it's basically just the delegates and some of the delegate party members. They have Democratic Party members that are also delegates. They get to vote in the first round. If there's not a clear winner after the first round, several things happen. First of all, the delegates from the states who are obligated are released from their obligation. And then second is that the super delegates that you might have heard about, they get a chance to vote now. They call it brokered convention because in previous days they would do it in smoky back rooms and they would argue and uh, maneuver and make wheel and deal behind the scenes and come up with a candidate. So it's more of an open convention these days, and they'll have a second round of voting. The people from the states who were obligated to vote in the direction that the voters wanted them to in that state are no longer obligated to do so. They can vote, they can change their vote, they can change the vote from their state. And then the superdelegates come in. They're allowed to also vote. The superdelegates were never obligated to vote any which way. So they spend a little time. They spend time talking about who would best represent the party, and then they have a second round of voting. And hopefully by then they'll have a clear winner. So that's how the Democrat caucus works, and that's what they're talking about when they talk about the brokered convention or the open convention. And that's why I say that Bernie Sanders, while leading early, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be the party's nominee. So what was this that we all heard about in 2016 about Bernie getting screwed over by the Democrats in favor of Hillary Clinton? And I believed it myself for ever since it happened, up until I went and researched this a little bit to make this make this video and answer this for you people. Hillary Clinton pretty much won all the popular vote outright. She won of various ethnic groups and just about every kind of statistical way you can look at it. The only place where she lost was in white Democrats and young Democrats. Hillary Clinton won an overwhelming majority of the African American vote. And if you break it down by education level, she won pretty much all of the demographics on that as well. Even when you break it down by income. And as I mentioned from the beginning, she won the overall vote count, the popular vote among Democrats. And I know for years I believed it. I've heard conservative pundits talk about it. And I know probably most Bernie Sanders people believed it as well. But the fact remains that that Hillary straight out won the 2016 election, or Democrat primary, and that's just what the facts say. Again, the definition of socialism is the government control of the means of production and distribution of goods and services. Whether you call it Democrat socialism or just regular socialism or Marxist socialism, basically it's still government control of the means of production and distribution. That's important. To help you understand, there's the whole free health care example. In free health care, the government, they don't call it single payer, but it's still the government. The government controls the means of production and distribution of health care. They can offer it for free. Well, it's not really for free, as we all know, but you can get access to government health care without having to pay anything out of pocket at the time. It's still government control of the means of production. And by the way, you'll probably hear Several of the candidates, probably most likely Bernie Sanders, will say it. He'll talk about Denmark or Sweden or Holland as an example of democratic socialism done right. Well, the people, the governments, the presidents, the rulers of those Scandinavian countries have repeatedly asked the media to stop saying that and Bernie Sanders to stop claiming that they are a democratic socialist country. They do have elements of socialism. They have free health care in most cases, but their economy is a capitalist economy. The government does not control the means of production and distribution of most things in that country. Denmark was socialist a couple of decades ago, and they've thrived since they switched to a more free market based economy. So that's my follow-up video, a little more detail on the things you need to know now for February 27th, 2020. If you like what you see, please subscribe and click on the thumbs up like button. That really helps me out. And make sure that you hit the bell for notifications so that you never miss a new video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.